So this is the life of a YouTube dad. Take your kids to karate in the morning, come back, race down, you gotta play a game of Blitz, you gotta take them out, they got the pool party coming up, you don't have very much time, you gotta hop right into the pool, you gotta go up against Nemo G-Caster, and you gotta try to win a game of Blitz relatively quickly. Let's see if we can get all of this done. Hope you guys have been having a good summer, been staying busy, but been making time to play Portsmouth Gambits. Wait, clear my calendar. A Portsmouth Gambit opportunity has arisen. Let's see what we're going to be able to do today. This is one of my favorite lines against the Sicilian. This is not a good move. This is not a good move. Wait, didn't we just play this in one of these videos? What the heck? Guys just keeps going back. There's some combo of like here and here that could possibly win on the spot. But can I get this in the right move order? Because if I go here right away, maybe they have this move. Man, I'm close to having something. I'm not sure if this is the way, but my idea is simply to go here. And I guess now the opponent is going to meet it with this. Here, if knight takes, queen takes knight, wins for me. They're going to go here. And this pawn might be undefended. And they might possibly have this check at some point. But bishop c4. This feels really good. Because I think it's difficult for them to move here. Although maybe they will try. No, they're going after the knight. Set up the cheapo? What do you think? Do you think this cheapo will work? I'm threatening to go here, of course. And just win the game on the spot. Maybe it will work, but I suspect they're going to have to get out of this. Taking this way, I'm not sure that it actually helps them that much. And I'm trying to push d6 through here at some moment. Whenever I get checked this way, I have to drop my bishop back, but that should be completely fine. In fact, if here immediately, I think only maybe queen b6 saves them. Because it prevents the knight check. I mean, just castling might also be decent for me here. Bringing this knight in at some moment could be decent. Yeah, going back to d8. What the heck? Wait, they thought forever, and then they still got smothered mated. 13-move Portsmouth Gambit victory. What the heck? That was, I don't know. I had this not too long ago with a Karo Khan, and somebody fell for this. This smothered mate trick, even higher rated players don't see it, but this is a very important game. Oh, look who it is! Total Noob is watching our game. But the Portsmouth Gambit is very dangerous, and the opponent made what is actually one of the largest mistakes, and a very common one, apparently, because I keep running into it. So let's deep dive a little bit more into this opening. And let's show you kind of some of the cool tricks and traps that might potentially happen if you decide to add this to your repertoire. Now, this is something you can play against the Sicilian when they play knight to c6. And it's this move, pawn to b4, Portsmouth Gambit. And the idea is you're trying to either get the knight or the pawn to move out of the way. If the pawn takes, you play d4. If they take instead with the knight, you play c3, followed by d4, and you're likely to get into the same position that we got in the game. But they started with the pawn. So I play d4, and my idea now is that I'm going to be playing d5 and pushing this knight around, so that's why most opponents start with d5. You take this, getting them to bring their queen out. Now you play pawn to c4. This allows en passant, you take back with the knight, and now the only move for the opponent is queen to a5, which is what I faced most often, and we can take a very brief look at this move. But queen d8 is also 34% of the games, and it is very bad, like +4 bad, like you're lost if you move the queen anywhere but a5. And this actually is what I face most often, although I'm starting to see queen d8 a lot more, and I'm digging it. But here you have a lot of interesting choices with white. You can start with d5, you can play bishop to d2, you can even play rook to b1, which has been my choice, because there is a trap here that a lot of people fall for, so if you've never seen it, buckle up. You sacrifice this entire knight with the idea that you're going to play bishop d2, attacking the queen. She needs to move over to a3, and now you play pawn to d5. And the tricky thing is here, it looks like the opponent can just move their knight away, get it to safety, and then, you know, everything should be good. They're going to be a piece up and they're going to win the game. But in fact, if you look at the computer's eval, this is an equal position more or less. But But the opponent just needs to make a random developing move. Bring the knight out, play e6 in order to get the bishop out, because if you do play knight b8, most popular move, you get a losing position right away. And the reason that this is so losing is you play queen to c2, protecting this pawn, which might be important in the future, and you're attacking this bishop. Now, this bishop most commonly goes to d7, and the trick occurs after bishop to b5. This sets up a very nasty trap that most people fall for. And a lot of opponents will see, uh-oh, he's covered this square, so they are getting ready to play bishop to b4. You're about to trap this queen, which is going to be winning for white. So they decide, I guess, just to develop, which doesn't actually help them. This queen is still trapped. But most people miss that you're able to sneak all the way in and deliver this checkmate. So if they somehow avoid getting checkmated and they just move their queen over, or they make some move that stops you, you win the queen instead. But either way, you should be able to get a winning position. And that's the most common trap in the Portsmouth Gambit. Well, this game went a little bit different, because in this position, my opponent went back to d8. And this is an insanely losing move, but it seems logical enough to try to just put the queen somewhere safe. But d5 comes, and I guess it's just not very easy for the opponent. They have to go back to b8, and maybe I didn't find the absolute most direct way of winning this game. You can see that there's a lot of very good moves. The alternative would be bishop to b5, which is very logical and one of the most normal moves in this position. How does this go? Bishop d7, and then you just castle. Okay. Let's say the opponent comes out, because this is the most common move. Rook e1. So you just prioritize getting the bishop and rook out as fast as possible to make playing e6 very, very difficult. And if the opponent has to play g6, which is what most people do, at some point you should be smashing through with this. Bishop a3 is even given as a very strong move, because if you move this away, which is actually the computer's top choice, you're going to be taking with something. Bishop, rook, I don't know. Something's going to smash in here and white's going to win a lot of material. Okay, so that is a very good plan as well. My idea was bishop f4 with some idea that the knight would be coming to b5, leading to here, and who knows, maybe even a smothered mate. Now the opponent played here, but instead of bishop b5, I played knight to b5, and this is fine, but not necessarily best. I do want to point out that if they had played here, this is kind of one of the cool tactics that maybe a lot of people would spot. It attacks my bishop, it defends this square, but uh-oh, it would run into queen takes d5, and it looks like this has happened 5 times, with the idea that at the end of all of this, there's knight to c7, followed by picking up this queen. So that's what I would have done. That's why I thought knight to a6 was going to be forced by the opponent. Bishop to c4, making e6 even less likely. If you don't do it now, you could be in trouble. g5, I'm not sure if that one was on the opponent's radar, but e6 here should have been played, and I was going to play d6 as a response. At some point, maybe this guy can come in, but you're blocking this bishop. This feels so promising, but there is maybe some way that they can barely escape. I always would have met this queen check with the bishop coming back. Queen b6, and it just says repeat, or just keep attacking this queen until you maybe get the idea of going like this. And I mean, this is going to be very good for white as well. So not too concerned about it. The opponent went here. I played queen to e2. Okay, of course, castling, another very possible move, and simply overlooked a smothered mate. But if you can simply not overlook hitting that subscribe button, it would mean a lot to me. Hope you've enjoyed the Portsmouth Gambit game. Hopefully you use it. Let me know how it goes for you, and I'll see you for the next video.